And go.
Hello, everyone. And Jeff, too.
Hello, David.
How are you, sir?
Nice to see you. I'm very well. Very well. I saw you in 3 dimensions the other day that was nice. We had breakfast together outside.
When the moon is in the 7th house. Is that the 3 dimensions?
No. Oh, I got it. Wow.
Or was that a different name?
You reached for that one.
The 6 dimensions?
You're getting closer.
Really? What was the 7th?
The 5th. The 5th
Oh,
dimension.
man.
Marilyn. I can't remember her husband's name.
I know they're on YouTube. I love watching them perform that.
Yeah.
That's just a kick and a flashback.
Yeah.
And they're having such fun.
Yes.
Like we are.
And they're happily married, like we're not.
No. You cannot say that.
No, I mean to each other.
Yes. Oh, yes.
We're happily married, just not to each other.
Yes, because everyone knows how happily married I am.
Yeah.
No, really, you know.
They know that, but okay. I'll take
yeah, just my inner circle, my guys.
Yeah. So things going at the Kleinschmidt residence.
Hey, I had a new experience today. I was walking to the post office, see if I can keep all this straight, to mail out some product we should mention as soon as I finish this story. And I was coming home, and the big trucks came by. They tore up our street, and they tore it all up, and they laid that tar down, you know?
Yeah.
Which, when you go outside and walk, and you're, barefoot, it gets on your, I'm not wearing pants, but I am wearing socks. You get tar.
Get tar in your socks.
Oh, no, right. No. Oh, that was for real. And then I saw the big trucks, and I'm like, those have to be loaded with tar. They're going to tar my street today. It's going to be exciting. And then it turned the other way, because I know there's several torn up streets. I'm like, oh no. And then it reappeared another block and turned toward my house, because there's 2 patent streets. There's a street that blocks the street. You know what I mean? The street's cut off. It's very common. Yeah. So you can go to that patent and never find my house. Like actually my dad did when we bought the home. He was driving up here to the Methodist Asbury store or something, and he was close by, and he thought, I'm going to go look at Dave's house. And he ended up on that patent over there.
And he was
He never found the house. He didn't have the Google. He didn't have a cell phone, right?
He didn't have the Google.
20 years ago.
Boy.
So, he never found the house. And the truck apparently went down the wrong patent, came out, shot around, and there they were on my street. I was the first one to drive on that new tar.
Oh.
First. This guy. First.
Wow.
To drive on it. Does my life sound boring that's a big deal?
I was thinking that when you started the story, and but then as you got to the middle, I was pretty much sure that that's pretty dull. That is pretty pathetic when that's the exciting part of our lives. But it's true. That's kind of how it goes when you're sheltering in place, as we still are.
Yeah.
And we're to be doing so for a while.
And garbage day, which has always been exciting, even when I was working, because, it's a clean start.
It is.
Garbage day. They take the recycling. They take the garbage, and you're like, oh, it's a new start.
We always stand at the window, and we almost do. Stand and say, thank you for taking the garbage. Thank you.
I do wave when I'm walking and I see them.
Yeah. Yeah. And you had a good Easter. We just came off of a holiday here.
We did.
Took the whole day off.
I did. Easter Sunday.
Yeah.
Well, we gamed Monday, Thursday. I think, was that our Star Wars with Mike? Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. We played Star Wars on Thursday. And you gamed on Good Friday and then Saturday.
Did I too? Probably did.
I think you did. Your new Star Wars group on Saturday.
Oh, right. And then the kids came out. Easter. Adam came out too from Peoria.
Yeah. So we did our usual making our traditional making of the pineapple pizza with ham on Easter.
Homemade?
And, yes, we made it homemade.
Ah,
It's quite good. And we watched the 10 Commandments. And this year we thought,
excellent.
let's buy it. We sprung for it. $9 because we always pay $3 for it. We watch it like every other year.
That's excellent.
It's one of those movies. If you got movies like that you just can watch over and over again, you know, once a year or once every other year, it's kind of like Christmas movies. It's such a great movie, though. I mean, it's so beautifully filmed just for the color.
Yeah, just the color and the soundtrack, which
soundtrack is good.
You know, I've played it before for miniatures games and stuff as background.
And the dialogue is fantastic. Every line, that line when the Red Sea closes in over the Egyptians, and Pharaoh is standing there at the magnificent Yul Brynner, who looks great. It reminds me of you, actually. Just a big cut, handsome devil. You start wearing those big gold things around your forearms. No, but he's standing there, and it goes on, and he says, "His God is God." Oh, just lots of lines like that.
4 words.
Yeah.
And where's your God now, Moses?
Yeah. The fabulous Edward G. Robinson and Vincent Price is in there, you know, and it's good, really fun to watch. Yvonne DiCarlo, who later went on to become Lily Munster, plays Moses' wife. I can't remember her name. Mrs. Moses.
Yes, that's right. She did.
Yeah.
And I like the fact that it's got the painted backdrops.
Yes. Yeah.
The matte painting, they used to call it. It's not digital.
Right.
It's just kind of cool to know that there really are, when you're seeing 1,000 people. It is 1,000 people.
It's 1,000 people.
All dressed up.
Yeah.
And no place to go.
No, they just followed Moses out into the
no place
desert.
to go. Yeah, the robe. My dad liked the robe.
Oh, that's a good one too, with Richard Burton.
Yeah. And then there was this real early one, Cecil B. DeMille. It's about Jesus, and it's called The Shoot.
The Shoot.
We got it up there. It's black and white. It's really early, but it is like when you're looking at the composition of the frames, the way the people are posed and stuff in all these, they look like these classical paintings and stuff.
Yes.
Because they really visually just set it all up and stage it all up, just like it's a big to-do.
It's a big painting.
Yeah, it's cool. Very cool.
Love that.
Darn, what is the name of that movie?
And there were times, you know, and we noticed that too, what you said about the painting, the matte painting and stuff like that. And it didn't take away from the movie at all, even though we live in this digital age where you can do anything. There was something really wonderful, for lack of a better word. I can't think of a word. Watching that and trying to decide, gee, like when they're driving the chariots through all the statues down that avenue, Egyptian Avenue, or whatever they call it.
And you're like, some of those are 3D.
Those look like real statues. I'm sure some of them were, or maybe all of them were. I don't know.
Some of them are, yeah. Yeah, the other film is The King of Kings, 1927.
Oh, King of Kings, yeah, that's a good one too.
1927. So.
Wow. Oh, actually, I've seen the remake. I haven't seen.
No, go back to the 1927.
Okay.
Yeah, it's got little subtitles and yeah.
And there's war movies. You know, they're not quite that where every scene is a painting. But I also watched A Bridge Too Far again recently. I don't even know why I did, because I've seen it not too long ago. But the number of actors, you know, recognizable actors, the color, the scenes and stuff were. I didn't think it was that great a movie, but still, it's very fun to watch, visually engaging.
Yeah.
So, and it made me think, I love ASL.
Good stuff.
Yeah, I've been thinking about the game we're playing, which we'll talk about on our next. I'm thinking about the scenario that we're engaged right now. Very interesting scenario. We'll talk about that next time. This time,
we have we did send out. Why I went to the post office.
Oh,
I
right.
started walking there and I fell a little short. But we sent out a winner of our contest, which was, no one knew this contest was going on. It was if you watched all the way the YouTube version to the end. Then I snuck in an announcement saying, win Decade of War. And one person got to the end, Nelson Isada. Nelson, I just mailed that out today. Well, this show airs later. Today's the 13th. We're way ahead on production. And so congratulations to Nelson. You never know, folks, where you're going to find a contest announcement from the Half Squads.
Yeah.
And the next one was Winter Offensive Pack 5. Oh, shoot. We announced it on Twitter. Just retweet this, and you can win Winter Offensive Pack 5. And that was mailed out also today to William Hutton. William Hutton, the winner of the drawing for
William.
Yep. And the third one, Jeff, I can't remember. What did we do?
Uh-oh. Did you mail it to yourself? Self-addressed envelope. There you go.
No, it was a draw from our Patreon supporters.
Ah, okay. Right.
And it was a long time ago, and we gave away the C4 corner cutter to someone else, and then the person, shoot, I can't remember your name now, emailed and said, hey, I'm
Mr. Something.
I'm just getting caught up. He said, if you still have that, I would be interested, and we didn't. So we sent him another product that was donated by Bill Cobble.
Thank you, Bill Cobble, for your many kind donations of products. It's super nice of you.
We'll have to send him a little thank you cash there.
Mm-hmm. It's on the way.
Yeah, we'll have to do that. So that was the 3 prizes that went out today. And how do you want to handle?
Not a lot of activity on the contests, but still, I was very happy to see Nelson get something. He's been a good friend for a long time. Big fan of the show, and contributor, and so I appreciate that. But people, you gotta be watching and listening. Look for the Easter eggs. Listen, they're hidden, and the riches are beyond belief.
Mm-hmm. You never know. Next up, what Winter Offensive Bonus Pack 6. How do you want to offer that up, Jeff?
That'll be our next prize?
Yeah.
I would like that.
I'll just bring it over to you.
Oh.
How about the next one then? Will be Winter Offensive Pack 7.
No, let's do 6.
You want to do 6?
Yeah.
You should get 7. Do you have 7?
I actually think I do have 7. I'll have to check.
Okay. All right. So we're saying 6. What should the listenership do? This won't air until next month. This will air the 1st of May. May Day.
Send us an email with the subject line Mayday, Mayday.
There you go, folks.
That's
by the
15th?
15th. Yep.
By 15th.
Send us
and then Mayday in the subject. Send it to the 2 half squads at gmail.com.
Yep. Well, then we'll do a drawing and send that right out to you.
Yep. Continental United States, we prefer, please.
We prefer. Yes. Should we interview a random ASLer again?
Let's pick up the phone and give a call to somebody. Who should we call?
You know what I'm going to do, Jeff, I think. I'm going to look, they always have this edited by. I'm going to pick a random name from the editors of an ASL games.
The unsung heroes of ASL.
Pick a number between 1 and 4. I'll take the first 4 names here.
4.
That is Klas Malmstrom.
Klas Malmstrom.
We can try and see if he's available.
Let's do. Let's just dial 1-800-Klas.com. No.
1-800-Klas.com.
Let's see what happens.
I'm typing it in.
Okay. Wow. Man, it's in
going
there.
through.
Let's see what happens. Is it ringing?
Yeah.
Oh, cool. Sort of indicates he's joined the call here, so I'm hoping we have tapped into Klas.
Hello.
Malmstrom. Is that you?
Yes, I'm afraid so.
Yes. I hope we've got the right Klas. Are you the guy that knows a lot about Advanced Squad Leader?
I at least try to give the impression of that's being the case.
You have fooled many people for many years. So.
Yeah, yes. So is this too dark?
No, that's fine. It actually looks very good.
Yeah, it's very sophisticated.
It takes 10 years off. It takes 10 years off you.
I need it. I turn 52 next Saturday, so.
Oh, you're young.
Oh, you're just a young pup.
Yeah, in the ASL world, for sure.
It is very nice to meet you. I'm Jeff.
I'm Dave.
And,
hello.
It's very nice to meet you. After many years, we have seen your name around ASL for a long time. As somebody very important, you come up on the list of important people to talk to. So here we are. We appreciate you taking the call.
Yeah, no problem.
Past your bedtime in Sweden?
No, actually, I was going to watch some soccer tonight, but we'll skip it and watch it tomorrow instead.
Oh, hate to keep you from that.
Yeah. No, it's 10 p.m. here now. Since I've been working at home for about a year, so you sort of stay up later and you get out of bed later as well. Sort of vacation time.
Yeah. And are you wearing pants right at the moment?
Yes, I am.
Okay. Because this is a family show.
Yeah. As far as the viewers know, yes, I am.
I've been working at home so much. I went out the other day. I had to go out to a client and I put on my pants, but I couldn't remember how a belt works. It's just too complicated. I had to go look it up on YouTube. So anyway, we've seen your name for many years for many reasons, not the least of which is your involvement with Friendly Fire. And so we thought we'd give you a call and introduce you to everybody that hasn't met you yet. So can you tell us a little about your gaming background?
Sure. Yeah, my my first war game was I was in London in 1987. I was in a hobby shop and I saw Panzer Leader on the shelves. I think the cover looked too cool not to buy. Yeah, that's the one. Played it a lot of mostly solitaire. I even made extra board so I could play the big campaign that was at the end and extra counters. Well, actually, now that I remember, the first war game I actually played was Luftwaffe. And my brother bought that when we back in 79, 80. I lived for 2 years in the United States, actually.
Oh, you did? Where?
And my brother, yeah. 1 year in outside of Minneapolis, in Minnetonka.
Oh, yes. Okay.
Yes. And then almost a year outside Seattle in Cedar Rapids. I went, I think it was 4th and 5th grade in American school.
Okay.
So my brother bought that game back then and we played it probably wrong, but...
Well, it's common.
Yeah. And then I actually bought Squad Leader. I think it was in 88 maybe. I ran into a good friend of mine, Robert Maglitza. We actually did our conscript service at the same time.
Mm.
As it happens, we actually passed on the day that the very first day, we both were in the infantry as squad leaders. We actually arrived at the gate at the same time.
Wow.
Yeah, so if we hadn't done that, perhaps we would never met.
Yeah.
So we played Squad Leader some, and I bought all the modules, played a lot of solitaires, and then in I think 1990 I started buying the ASL stuff.
pretty quick to when it came out. Yeah, within a few years.
Yeah, so I didn't play that much Sport Leader, but a lot of ASL, and I also play a lot of other war games as well, or board games.
Yeah, currently you're playing lots of other games too.
Yeah, I've found out the last maybe 5 or 10 years I've been drawn to other games as well.
Yeah, I've done a lot of miniature wargaming and then the role playing, which is surprisingly common amongst ASLers, because I didn't think a lot of ASLers would do role playing games, but they have.
Yeah, I've tried it a couple of times, but that's really not my cup of tea.
Yeah, it is different. That's why I was surprised a few other guys did do it, because it seems like more like engineer types, like Advanced Squad Leader. But and so then in Sweden, then who else do you game with then? What's the group playing opportunities like there? Yeah,
I have in my town, I have a neighbor who's like 10 minutes away from the bike ride, so we play sometimes. And then, of course, I used to play test a lot with Matthias Rönnblom, Friendly Fire publisher. Mm-hmm. He lives about, half an hour with a car now outside of town. But I actually mostly play now at the Friendly Fire conventions that we held twice a year.
Oh, and it's twice a year. Oh, okay, I assume that was like once a year.
Yeah, it was once a year, but now it has expanded into twice a year.
Right.
Usually only with an ASL tournament in the fall.
Oh, okay.
Or the spring, I can't remember really. One of them. So we'll see how it will be this spring with the pandemic, if it can be held or not. It's been postponed once. And I have to take in consideration if it's legal to have it, and then if people want to come. That's another question.
Yeah, we're working that out for all my groups right now. As some people are vaccinated, some are not yet. The weather's getting nicer, so it's possible to play outside. I have a back sunroom, we call it, but it has windows on all sides, so we could really get air moving through there. So I think I'd be more comfortable playing it Squad Leader now, face-to-face up there. Looking forward to that. But then cramming everybody down here in my basement to do a group game is not going to probably happen for a little while yet. But, So the Friendly Fire tournament is twice a year, and they play lots of different games there, too. People come from around Europe, any from further away, overseas?
Let's see. We had overseas. Can't remember. I know that usually some guys from Denmark come up at least, and some French guys have turned up, at least on the convention where there is an actual ASL tournament. I think that's the other, or if it's the fall or spring, I can't remember. There are usually some ASL being played there, but it's not organized as a tournament.
Oh, yeah, okay.
I don't recall if there has been. I know that Brian Martusas was here once because he stayed at my house. I think that was probably for the Friendly Fire tournament. Or it could have been the one in Copenhagen, and he came to visit me later.
Okay.
I don't recall we played something for Armies of Oblivion, so it was a long time ago.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, we did play. We did interview him at the ASL Open, Jeff Martusas.
That's right. Yeah.
He does some work with the Broken Ground Design guy in Canada, too. And he's written a lot of scenarios.
Yes. Yeah, I think he did many of them for Armies of Oblivion, I think, has his name on it. Yeah,
that would be right. Yeah, he did. Now, have you done any designing, Klas, or writing?
No, I have not designed anything. I had a couple of ideas, but it hasn't got off the table.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was interested in scenarios featuring Tito's army when he drove the Germans out of Yugoslavia. I'm not sure how many real combats there were, but I like those special vehicles from Doom battalions.
Okay.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, that sounds like a topic that could be explored further. Definitely.
Yeah.
So what's
it's-
the holdup?
Yeah, exactly. Everything else.
Everything else in life. Yeah.
Yeah, I met a guy from Norway in the Copenhagen tournament. He's a real good guy, and he was also talking about creating scenarios. And it's been a while since I've been there, but I harassed him every year where the scenarios were. And I know he's actually looking for a box, the Bloodrift Tarva module, and he hasn't got one. And I haven't told him that I actually have one shrink wrap at my house. And I was thinking about giving it to him when he gets the scenarios done.
There we go. Well, he will know about that after
Incentive.
our podcast. Yeah. Yeah, and I'm sure you'll get a lot of mail now from people saying, "Come on, Klas, get going on those Yugoslav scenarios." And so, do you play face to face only, or do you play some Vassal as well?
I have played Vassal in the past. It's been probably 10 years since the last time.
Oh.
I was actually I don't know when they started the tournament. It was before the Vassal League. It was called Cyber Open. I think I was in the 5 first. Actually managed to win one of them, I think. I'm not sure if it's still being held. Back then, there was a lot of, it was more email than face to face, because I mean there was no Discord and Skype, and well, it wasn't as stable as it is now, so
Right.
it was a bit harder to. I actually remember I played using ICQ once for eons ago.
Oh, ICQ, yeah. That's
Yeah,
cool.
I think I played Lars Turing when he was down in Germany.
Oh, Lars, okay.
So yeah, I've tried some of the online versions, but at the moment I have I'm not playing.
Just yeah, maybe because we never got into it. Dave and I, we tried a few times. Well, I don't know if Dave did, but I tried. a couple times. It just didn't. I couldn't wrap my head around it for some reason. But with the pandemic, it kind of forced us into it. So
yeah,
being a good experience. It was actually a much better experience than I expected.
Yeah, I think I played more email games using Vassal than live, actually.
Yeah.
The email games, they get sort of tedious after 2 turns, and it takes forever. And then you play people who get other stuff they have to do, waiting for 2 weeks for half a turn.
Yeah.
I mean, that's life. It can be, and I played some people that just seemingly dropped off the face of the earth. But stuff happens, so.
Right.
But yeah.
Who are some of the top players that win the tournaments there? Is there a consistent group of guys that seem to win a lot, or?
The Friendly Fire?
Yeah.
Yeah, there was. I haven't actually checked on the website, but I know Melvin Falk has won a lot of them. And I don't remember. I think maybe I won once, actually. Can't remember.
Remember? Is that
you don't have a big plaque?
Yeah.
Some place, yeah, probably. It might, yeah. I think once. I think it was that year when Matthias produced the Mind Dogs. The special counters if you attended the tournament.
The Mind Dogs.
Oh, the Mind Dogs.
Yeah,
right.
yeah. They went under tanks, trained to go under tanks at least. Yeah.
Yeah. I think there was one named Klas, actually.
That's hilarious.
Yeah, it's been a while. So yeah, sometimes he did the I don't know if you played the Wunderwaffe and Wunderwagen, special German. They have a 75 long APCR cannon that they developed. Anyway, for the tournament, he made counters for those who attended for those.
Oh, okay.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's Matthias
Yes.
that does those. Are they in the friendly fire packs too then, or no? You have to go to the conventions or to the tournament?
I don't recall. Maybe he included if he had extras after the tournament. I really don't know. I think he on those scenarios there is like an illustration of the front and back, so you could just make your own.
Oh yeah. Okay. Yeah. Now I see on your web page, I'm looking at the list of the after action reports. So you've posted a lot of photographs from the various. There's a Bridge Too Far Arnhem tournaments. Are those still going on? Do you know?
No, they're not. I think they ran for, I don't know, 10 years maybe, and then they packed up. There's different people organizing. I mean, Peter Struif was the main organizer for many years. And but that was a very nice tournament. Especially we can combine it with a battlefield tour.
It was right there by the bridge at Zahn.
Yeah, that was the first year. And then we were at Fort Eben MIL once. It's a bit of a drive. That's actually, when we were there, it was actually still a military installation, so you had special guide and clearance to go in. So that was very cool. And then there was this one year. There was a cell player who I think he was training to be a tourist guide because he held he talked about Grebbeberg was a hill that the Dutch defended against, I think, an SS battalion or something.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Actually, he told us this great story. The Dutch were in a ditch on one side of the road, and there was the officer in charge. There was the field on the other side, and then there was woods on the other side of the field. And this officer, who had been in the Dutch East Indies, he was used to fighting there, so he just drew his sword and stepped out on the road, and then the whole company of Germans opened fire.
Whoa.
So it's probably brutal. And there are some, you can see the trenches on that hill left, and I think there might be some small pillboxes actually. So and then I think after a couple of years they ran out of battlefield tours in the vicinity. So, but the other years that I went down with Robert Maglitska, we usually drove down. So we have been to Bastogne.
Okay.
And so we did a Piper tour of the 3 villages. And it's, I actually liked driving around in Belgium in the Ardennes forest there. You know, almost in all village there is some sort of plaque honoring American and soldiers for what they did.
Yeah, I know Jeff and I talk a lot about doing some battlefield tours. So still, maybe someday, Jeff, we're gonna have to get that done.
Maybe next year. Yeah. I just need that $10 million.
Yeah. I do see you went 4-1 in 2007. He's got the results posted on the link that you have there.
Okay. Yeah. Well, I know I won in Arnhem once because I have a Stug, the prize. I think I went 6-0 that year.
Was it a model kit?
Yeah, it's a big sort of 1 foot long plastic model of a Sturmgeschütz.
Okay, cool.
Sits on the top of my bookshelf. It's probably very dusty by now.
And how did you get interested in World War II? Was your dad interested in World War II?
Not that I can recall, actually. I'm not really sure. I haven't. Maybe I think it started after I bought the Panzer Leader as well. When it started.
Oh, maybe.
Yeah, I think we all have 1 stack of games we haven't played and 1 stack of books we haven't read.
Yeah.
So they're competing who will reach the ceiling first.
Yeah.
Like I bought all the what's the name? The Battle Then and Now, where they have they go back to I think many of them are done in the 70s, so they have pictures how it looked in 44 and how it looked in 70. Very big fat telephone size books.
Oh,
Wow.
that's cool.
Yeah. So any year now I will read them.
Yes. I've got quite a stack like that too. It doesn't stop at the ceiling. It keeps going.
No, actually, I have started a new stack of ASL stuff now. It's the Deluxe and Starter Kit 4 and Crow the Gare is beginning on the floor now, going up.
So do you find yourself playing much Pacific Theater? Or do you stick with
I like it. I haven't played the guy that lives close to me. He hasn't played. I mean, he's played a couple of years now, and he knows how to play. But I don't think he's played much Pacific, so maybe I will introduce him to it. I kind of like the Chinese, Japanese scenarios. A little special as well.
Yeah, I've been doing a lot of those with Mike Rizzi now from the Bounding Fire Productions, Blood and Jungle. Quite a lot in there. Yeah. So I see you
Played
did
a few from that one.
You did come to the Oktoberfest.
Yes.
2009, 2007. At least it's on your site. 2005.
Yeah, I've been. I think I was there. First time was in '98. Also with Lars Turing. He's my travel companion.
Lars. Yeah.
I think we met up. We might have met at Grenadier in '98, the first year. Don't recall. Then we went to. I think we were in Oktoberfest in '98, '99, and then we started going every other year. 2001, 3, 5. But it's been a while now. I think it's 5 or 6 years since I was there.
any plans or hopes to get back to that?
Yeah, hopefully. My other friend, Maglitsa, he's talked about that. He's a guy that I did my conscript service with. He has been there a couple of times as well, and he's talked about maybe going back. So he and we used to go to Copenhagen as well, but after 15 years, we sort of burned out on that, so took a pause. For instance, in Copenhagen, there are a lot of nice pubs you can go to as well.
Yeah, there's always more to do than just the gaming and the ASL or the World War II things, I suppose. Yes. So yeah, Jeff, for refresh your memory, Lars design was one of the designers on the Hakapale.
Correct.
And we did interview him on episode 117 on 2014. Boy, the years are going by.
Yeah.
And then
I think he actually we met here in my hometown because I ran a small it was just a weekend gathering of ASL players back in it was probably in the 90s as well, and I think his brother lived here, so he just showed up. How he got the word of it, I don't know.
Oh, that's how you met him.
Yeah, and that's how I met the guys from Stockholm as well. They also showed up. So
yeah, it's kind of like the Paso Club I run here at the house. I haven't done it in a while, but guys would just find us, and then once we had the podcast going, people would be willing to drive from further out, because now they felt like they kind of knew us, and so it was interesting. In fact, Jeff, that's where I met Jeff. Was just showing up at the door one day. Jeff, where did you see the Palatine area squad leaders advert? Was it?
I think
Games Plus or something.
Could be Games Plus. I don't really recall. It may have been the MMP website because you were listed there for a while, weren't you?
I think I had one thing all the way back in the general, way back when I started it.
Yeah, that was
a little opponents thing. Weird. Seems like those were weird days.
It does.
Putting a little ad in a magazine and then having people contact you to game and Now, Klas, did you do play testing for the Hakapale stuff too?
Not for the Hakapale, no.
I've seen your name in print, right? In some places, has that mostly been play testing?
For Friendly Fire, a lot of play testing. For MMP, it's some play testing, but most it's proofing and rules editing development.
Yeah, I think that's where I'd seen your name in the editing. And Boy, how does that happen? So they ship you copy of just what they're going to print, and then you just go through and edit it?
I actually get the PDF files of what's, then I just read them through, check it.
Are you looking for grammar, or are you looking for rules?
Yeah, mostly it depends if it's a new product like Hutton, or if it's, I mean, at the moment on my screen I have chapter F for Hollow Legions, looking at it, beginning to prove that.
For the
third
reissue.
edition.
Yeah.
Yeah, so then in that case I just compare it to the old one, if there are any differences. Of course, there will be some differences. I mean, tweak some words here and there. If it's a new one, mostly, well, of spelling, of course, stuff like that. The English grammar, I mostly leave to Perry. He's better than me on that. But I try to look for consistency in if you use the same expression for the same SSR that you did 2 products ago. So, and a lot of stuff in the scenarios, it's actually, there's actually a system to how you write the SSRs, and I'm not sure everyone is aware of that.
No, not aware of that.
Yeah, that actually helps you to prove, because then you know what to look for. I mean, for example, SSR1 is usually all the weather and transformation, stuff like that. So, so keeping things consistent, of course, sometimes it's not that easy. And also questioning complicated rules and SSRs sometimes. It's I recall when we did the proofing for, I think it was Fest in Budapest, in the submitted version did not have no quarter between all sides. It was only between some sides, because they were like, when I talked to Bill at Oktoberfest once, I asked him if we couldn't have it for everyone, then we could skip 2 pages of rules and examples. And that's the way it went.
And it did go that way?
Yeah, I think he conferred with Sean Deller, and they didn't see any problem with it. There was going to be some fewer Russian prisoners or something like that, but because otherwise you had to know if you roll for heat of battle and there's no quarter, and I see someone that's closer, it might have been battle hardening. Otherwise, it's berserk, and it's very to cover all the bases there. So stuff like that.
Right. Because you had mixed nationalities, and I have not gotten to play my Festa in Budapest yet. I'll get to it someday. But so you have mixed nationalities attacking. So if you have no quarter with them, not them.
Yeah, I think there are Russians, and then you have Hungarian, or if it's Romanians fighting for the Russians, and you have Germans and SS, and I think at least 2 types of Hungarian troops. One more fanatic than the other. So so stuff like that. But mostly now when it's a reprint, it's to, I mean, for example, all the scenarios now for Hollow Legions, they're updated to the sort of current standard way of expressing SSRs and VCs. So that's a lot of work. Yeah.
But it pays well.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I mean, I could switch out my helicopter for a new one last year, so it's not as nice as Matea's gold-plated one, though.
From all the friendly fire sales.
Yeah, exactly.
So what else are the tricks on the special rules kind of things? Do they do they ask you to kind of check and make sure they're stated, and not like, I think, like the positive instead of the negative, maybe? Like there's many ways to say it, right? So so they do things like that.
Yeah, if you take the victory conditions, for instance, on official scenarios, they're almost always expressed in what the attacker has to do, and sometimes it's actually more easy to write it in the other way around.
Yeah. Because I know, like, when I'm playing Dave Timonen, we kind of go over it, especially if it has one of those like 3-part victory condition things where, so we kind of end up saying, so what you want to do is you want to avoid this, or your job is to cause casualties because it says I attacking cannot lose so many. So just flip that in your head. You want to kill as many of me as possible. So on the way in, so then, that'll get you the instant victory, that kind of thing. Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
I think one very tricky part is when you write, I mean, it's not just for ASL, but rules in general, and SSRs, is that when you who are writing the stuff, the intention. So it's obvious what you mean when you write something.
Yeah.
It's not always obvious for her. And that's very tricky. And the English language, a lot of subtleties.
Right.
I mean, how many questions haven't we seen online of the and/or expression? Do I need to do both, or is one enough?
Yeah, right. So they keep that consistent all the time in these things, huh?
Yeah. That's
like in Jeff, we're playing Sims Ridge right now from the Operation Watchtower, and there's just this line, level 0 hexes are not in play. And that's okay. So we can't, so then, Jeff was going to route, and we're like, oh, wait, you can't route into those. But does say for line of sight purposes, treat them as level 0 dense jungle. So that's a really unique idea for a game, but I think we're doing it absolutely correctly, and from just the 2 sentences. They are not in play, and then treat them as level 0 dense jungle for line of sight. So I think that covered everything, and I imagine there's lots of ways that could have been stated, right? That were more complicated.
Yeah. The trick is a little bit to write something that's clear, but you don't want to use 10 sentences if you can use 2.
Yeah.
So it's a fine line. How much do you write? And it's not easy. I mean, I'm very humble. I know that when I see something, well, of course, it's obvious what this means. Yeah, because I proofread it, so I know what it means. But those who ask a question on Facebook might not be obvious to them.
Yeah.
Do you use that as a resource? Like, do you consult with on Facebook? Do you put something out there and say, how does this sound, or does this make sense, to get a consensus back?
Yeah, when I do that, it's usually more in private. I have a few people. But I did ask 2 French guys when we did the scenarios for Croix de Guerre de Nantes, how to write, the 3rd battalion in French, the 3 EMA with whatever above the E's and stuff like that. So they're hopefully consistent.
Right. Yeah.
Feminine and masculine, company, battalion, whatever, and Foreign Legion names. So I think I almost maybe promised one of them a name on a counter, but we'll see if I can deliver on that. I think I still have them in my messenger.
We all live for that. We all live for that, getting our name on a counter. It's like,
yeah,
mission accomplished. My life is good. I got my name on a counter.
Yeah. So yeah, but then I also use Google a lot when I check, for instance, unit designations and stuff like that. Which division was this regiment in at this moment? And this German major here, was he really a major in 44? Or was he only a lieutenant? So
wow, so that's a lot of research.
Yeah, I do some. I mean, it's usually what I find on the internet. So everything with a grain of salt, of course.
Yeah, well, it's of course it's mostly as accurate for especially historical things, like those kinds of things. Yeah, there's no reason for people to really bias things out too much with that. So yeah, so you're looking at dates. You're looking at the weather conditions too. Do you ever check and see?
No, I trust the designer on that.
The designer to do those, huh? Yeah.
It's mostly, sometimes it just says 3rd Battalion, 45th Regiment, and then you can know which division it is. We usually try to write that out if there's room. I mean, because some people want to play maybe everything from the 45th Infantry Division. So But of course, sometimes that battalion was loaned to another division at that moment. So, especially the Germans shifted a lot of stuff around.
Yeah, I guess they did, because you are always seeing things like that and elements of this. And I was kind of like, why are there just elements of that in with this other unit?
Yeah, I think they had, especially in Normandy, there were like companies and battalions shifted between divisions. So, but I have one large book with the German over battle. It's probably outdated by now. There's probably one later that's better, but it's sometimes it's nice to have a book to look in instead of typing on the keyboard.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yes, because even this, Jeff, too, with our game Sims Ridge, it's got the Japanese setting up honor west of J, and then the Americans honor east of G, and then Jeff's like, oh my gosh, we're setting up in the same zone. And at first we both were like, let's go look for errata. This has to be wrong, you know.
Yeah.
But that very simple sentence definitely means what it means. And then once we started playing, we realized how that made a lot of sense, you know. Or I started looking at the aftermath too to see if sometimes there's clues in the aftermath as to what the special rules represent in the game.
Yeah, I never thought of that, but yeah, that's true. That's probably true.
Yeah, once we realized I could change a leader out and then turn up some hidden stuff in exchange, that it made more sense that we could overlap our setup, because suddenly that changed everything, and we're like, oh, this is a very cool idea. So how many products have you worked on as editor? Like, will I see your name? And
I think I've been
at least like 8, isn't it? Or
yeah, it's lots.
Yeah, I think the first product I recall proofing was this beyond. I think it was the second printing of Red Barricades. So that's way long ago. And from then, I think I was not involved so much with Starter Kit when it started, but pretty much all ASL products, more or less.
Okay, yeah, so it's a regular, yeah.
Yeah, mostly proofing.
And how did you get that gig?
I don't recall actually how. Maybe someone from MMP, they wanted volunteers back then. So then it just rolled on from there. So let's see when Red Barricades came out. I have my little product timeline Excel sheet up here.
Sure, yeah, that'd be cool.
2001, I think the Red Barricades second edition came. And I was involved in Chapter C in the second edition of the rulebook, proofing and incorporating Q&A and stuff there as well. So it's probably, well, lots of products.
Yeah, that's a significant contribution.
So that's also one of the things that when you've done it a lot of times, you know what to look for when you're proofing a scenario. I mean, this should look like this. This should look like that. So that's also it's good that you said that about the setup in Sims Ridge. When I proof scenarios, I always try to do a mock setup in Basel. You can see if there's something that looks odd.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
right.
Because it's sometimes it happens that the submission is, they have a placement of an overlay, but then they change that during playtest, but the submission text did not get updated. So it's the overlays off map or something. So you catch stuff like that.
Yeah, they're not lining up in the way it's described or listed.
Well, I think it's easily done. You have your first version 1 of the scenario and you play test it. Version 8 maybe you submit and lots of things have changed. You have not kept the text updated. So I think it's easily done. But so if you set it up, you might catch at least some of those stuff.
Yeah, Dave Timon and I are play testing a couple scenarios for Broken Ground Design. And yeah, that's been the main questions that we send out is what that actual victory condition, is there a question on that? Is there a question on the way the special rules are worded? I've sent like 3 or 4 questions. That, again, seems obvious to them, like when there's a building that's half in the zone and half out. And then they listed control all these in the zone. I'm like, well, half that building's not in the zone. So it's just a question someone might have, which way does that count? And so simple question.
It's a very valid question. That's exactly the sort of stuff I try to look for as well. Of course, sometimes you miss it, and then you're angry at yourself afterwards.
Well, yeah.
Yeah, I suppose if you see errata come out on a scenario that you are involved in, it's probably doesn't feel that great. You wonder how that slipped.
Yes, if it's something obvious, but if you're looking at 20 scenarios, your eyes start to roll. You don't see everything.
I can imagine. I got to believe that a lot of people probably don't really think about the amount of detail that goes into like what you're talking about. They don't realize all of the detail that has to be checked before a scenario is.
I think the most annoying errata is counter errata, of course.
Mm-hmm.
Especially on the non-rec side. If it's on the rec side, I mean, it's so that's the most. I mean, scenarios is annoying as well, but it's not as bad.
Yeah. So you've also checked. So do you do mostly scenarios and counters?
Yeah, I do pretty much everything.
Okay. Yeah. Wow.
And so how does the counter, what do you check on the counters? Do you check it actually against the actual equipment used, the actual AFV?
No, just the...
Or just the rules?
Yeah, well, I mean, if take, for instance, now the new Hollow Legions, those counter sheets, new ones, I check against the old counters. See that every armor factor and stuff is the same.
That's a lot to check. Though, is the white dot there? Is that underlined?
Yes.
That started. And after a while, I imagine, it's got to be like, did I already look at that one?
Yeah, it's tedious work, but I have a sort of built-in system how I work with it. So it's and of course there are usually, when it nears completion for print, I think MMP has some I don't know. Should I call them external proofers as well? So it's not like I'm the only person proofing.
Oh yeah, that would be too much of a burden. Yeah.
But I mean, we try to weed out the obvious stuff before it gets sent to 20 people. They don't have to worry about spelling and stuff like that.
And you're working on some stuff now? Anything new that you're not supposed to talk about that you want to
give us the secret scoop?
Well, actually now it's proofing for the new Hollow Legions, but that's not a secret. It's been
yeah. And does that include the what was the name of the scenario pack with the Ethiopians? Is that being included?
Yes. Yeah, I think so.
That means I better.
The original version. I think Critical Hit made a version of it as well.
Yeah.
I think they changed some stuff. I think it's like the original. I don't recall who that third party was called back then.
Oh, so there was one before Critical Hit published it?
Yeah.
I did not even know that, I don't think.
Yeah, it's probably on Pit Cabbage site.
Yeah. Everything is there except us.
Yeah.
But, we're not bitter. We're not bitter about that. He who should not be named.
Not a bit.
Yeah.
Mark.
So I think that will be included, and the desert stuff again. I think that's the Italian OB.
Yeah, I'm always
all the scenarios from West Main, and I'm assuming some old out of print from journals that's usually included in the reprints.
I'm surprised
that's the main product I'm working on at the moment.
Yeah, well, it's going to be a big one too.
Yeah.
It's I'm surprised there's not more clamor for the desert stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, I haven't played much myself either, but I'm guessing some players. I mean, I know some people they don't play PTO either, but I think it's more that they don't. I think the rules overhead for them it's not worth it. Maybe it's the same for the desert. I don't know.
Yeah, it could be. And the desert rules really it's not as intense as the Pacific. But then again, you can always limit your playing to avoid the landing craft or avoid certain things. But yeah, but I'm looking forward to getting that reissued for sure.
Yeah, so hurry up.
Yeah.
Well, I think there actually were some. I don't know if you have. Did you guys buy the Action Pack 16, the OC pack? I think it's called From the Land Down Under. It's all by Australian designers.
Yes, the Aussie stuff. Yeah.
It's actually, yeah. I think there are actually 2 or 3 desert scenarios in that action pack.
Okay, that'll be good to go. Oh, actually, we don't have that yet, Jeff. That's really new. They're coming out with stuff so fast.
Yeah, sometimes they operate in burst mode. You get 2 or 3 products at the same time.
Yeah, it is kind of like that. Yeah, because there's, I think, Friendly Fire 2. That was pretty new, right?
Yeah, I think the Best of Friends 2 and the Swedish Volunteers and maybe the Roma pack, they all came about the same time.
Yes. So yeah, I got like all 4. There's another one too. Maybe it's the Winter Offensive pack.
Yeah, the bonus pack came about the same time as Action Pack 16, I think.
Yes. Okay. Yeah. So yeah, we haven't even kept up on everything anymore.
Yeah. Same here.
Yeah, I see this. This 16. That looks good. A map and 15 scenarios.
Oh, it's that big.
Yeah. So
we'll have to hit up Ritterkrieg, our wonderful donor and advertiser.
That's right. Have you played or have you had interest in playing the Korean stuff, Klas?
I haven't played any of them. I was a bit burnt out after proofing all those stuff, writing a lot of rules there. So maybe I'll get to it some. It's in my big stack somewhere.
Okay.
In the middle.
Going up to the ceiling.
In the middle. Yeah.
Yeah. I have to. Sometimes I need something way down, so they just kind of shift all the time. So right now, Rising Sun is actually at the top. And the Hutton is at the bottom, so maybe they're not chronologically ordered.
Okay, well,
anything
else you want to chat about before we wrap it up?
No, unless you have any more questions.
Any grudges?
No, we don't do that.
Any laundry you want to air? Oh, that's what makes all the news, is that, something inflammatory.
That's why we're not so famous.
Yeah, that's probably.
I did go to the Desperation site. Soldiers of the Nagus, published in '94 by ELR. Essentially, Rick Thomas, Jim Berthalter, and Dirk Hines is one of the earliest third-party scenario packs that featured the most exotic sort from the Ethiopian Wars. Yeah, I didn't realize that was there. I do have the Critical Hit edition. It's one of the earliest third-party things I got. Yeah. Cool. Wow. Look at that.
Dirk Hines is actually one of the guys that me and Lars Turing shared a room at Oktoberfest in '98.
Okay.
Yeah. It's one of the first guys I played there, I think.
Well, we want to thank you for your time and let you get back to the soccer game. And we will thank you for your efforts doing all that work so we don't have to go to check the errata all the time. It is the best gift you can give us. And Jeff especially appreciates not having insane victory conditions.
Absolutely true. Shorter the better. That's my motto for victory conditions. That's what I like. So, yeah, we appreciate that.
Yeah. Been great talking to you then.
Yeah, same here.
Wish you good health and good gaming, and maybe we'll see you sometime at ASLOC or something like that.
Or the ASL Open or something.
Or the ASL. Who knows?
Chicago.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
All right. Take care, Klas. Thanks
Yeah.
very much.
Yes. Have a good one.
Bye.
Bye.
Well, that was great talking to Klas.
Yeah. Who would have
Nice guy.
thought?
Yeah.
All that goes into editing.
I never considered that, all the things that he goes through, and other editors too, in order to make those products fun to play and pretty much flawless. I mean, most of the time.
Yeah, most of the time. It's true.
Yeah. So, they're not just flipping pancakes. They're getting in there and testing it all out. Yeah, it was interesting. A nice guy. We'll have to get over there to Sweden. He didn't invite us, but I'm sure we're invited.
Yeah. To stay at his house, I'm sure.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah. Well,
It's good to see you, Dave.
Yeah, good to see you. Thanks for listening, everybody.
Thank you, everybody. This is the Two Half Squads. We hope you'll be with us again next time for another exciting episode. But until then,
roll low
and rally well.
But not when you're playing us. No, or when you're playing Klas.
Yeah, not when you're playing, please. That goes without saying.
Bye-bye, everybody.
Bye, everybody.